Hi, this is Travis with another video for you guys. Today's going to be another band video. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a doctor of physical therapy and I've also been a personal trainer around 15 years. I posted another shoulder video a little while back. Today I want to be talking a little more about two specific movements that I didn't talk about in that video. I'm going to show you guys how to do a pull down or kind of like an iron cross type movement. I'm going to talk about an upright row, which is another great shoulder exercise for kind of that middle or medial delt area. And then at the end I'll be showing you how you can combine that in a superset with another rowing exercise that I talked about in a different video. So some cool stuff for you guys today, just some different ideas on how you can kind of mix it up. For this one I'm just going to be using one band, so not a lot of equipment needed. So if you have one handy, go ahead and grab it and we'll get started. Okay, so a way to simulate a lat pull down. Now for those of you that don't know what it is, you essentially grab a bar typically attached to a cable and you pull it down to your chest, okay? And you can either lean back a little bit and pull it straight down, or you can kind of lean forward and lean back so you don't hit yourself in the head. And so you'd be doing this kind of movement, you know, more with a cable machine usually attached to a weight stack in the gym. And so there's another movement that a lot of gymnasts tend to do, and that movement's called an iron cross, okay? And so it's sort of similar. A lat pull down is here, whereas an iron cross is typically done more with your arms straight, and usually that's done on a pair of rings. But if you have single handles, you could also do that, you know, in a gym type setting. And so all you have to do is take the band and essentially simulate that movement. And so what you can do is take a hold of your band, kind of like if I was going to do a lat pull down, but pull it apart a little bit and bring it down to your chest, okay? And so again, I just kind of try to touch it down on the top of my chest. You can bring it down to your chest and bring it down a little bit farther and do that kind of movement there. Now if it's hard to hold on to this thing, you know, depending on how strong you are, again, this is a pretty thick, pretty high tension band here. If you're feeling pretty strong, you can wrap your hands on this one and then pull that guy down. And that's a pretty cool way to work the shoulders and the lats. Definitely going to be getting into this department here, you know, some of those deltoid muscles. So it's kind of like doing a pull apart that I showed in the other video, only now coming more from the top down, just to kind of get a little more into that lat territory. Now for the upright row, typically what's done is somebody would take a barbell and they would pull this thing up, and many times they'll come up kind of way high with it, and that can be pretty hard in the shoulders, particularly with a rigid bar. Now sometimes people will take a dumbbell and they'll sort of do a single arm version of it. So the double-handed version, a cool way that I found is just step on one half of this band, okay? And now the wider your feet are apart, the more you're putting tension on it. So if you want it to be a little easier, you would start out high. A little stronger, you can start out low. Now, you may also want to pitch your body forward just a little bit, and that's okay because you'll actually get a little more into the rear delts. I wouldn't recommend going up super high because that does kind of impinge your shoulder. So just to there, should definitely get a pretty good contraction in that muscle. So I'll pitch myself forward a little bit on this one, pull that guy up, and then down, okay? This is just kind of a nice way to get into those middle or medial deltoid muscles, which are the ones on the side. Typically, they're some of the ones that people are interested in developing, okay? And that's the double-handed upright row, or typically just called the upright row. Now with one arm, what I would do is just take this thing, same thing, one hand. If you want to stabilize yourself a little bit on the knee, you can. And then pull this guy up like so. So I'm basically doing the same thing I was doing a moment ago, only I'm just doing it with one hand instead, okay? And again, if it's a little harder, you can make your feet narrower, and again, want it to be stronger, a little wider, okay? Sometimes what I'll do, just to kind of really put some tension on it, is I'll almost hold like a side lunge, just isometrically, and then do it here, just to give myself a little bit of a kind of isometric hip and leg workout. That's optional, obviously. You don't have to do it that way. And that's the upright row. Okay, so just want to show you guys a way you can combine that upright row that I just showed with another exercise, which is a single arm row. What I'll do is I'll just put this thing around my feet, okay? Pretty much like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some stretch on it. Now you can put less or more depending on how much tension you want. Once you're there, you're just going to stabilize yourself with one hand and pull that guy into your pocket. So you don't want to be pulling up here, just pull that guy into your pocket for whatever number you're shooting for. Same way you do a dumbbell. Okay, for now I'm just going to go ahead and do about 10. But again, I could go until failure if that's what I was shooting for. Once I hit that number, I quickly transition my feet so I'm more horizontal now. Now I just grab one end of the band, stabilize again, and now I just do an upright row. So kind of pulling my hand right below that chest area. And now I'm really trying to get in to that deltoid muscle. Go for whatever number I'm shooting for again until failure. And then once I'm there, then you're done. Now certainly you could pair the upright row with other exercises. I could have done a side lateral as well. There's different ways you can structure it. Just want to show you guys how you can quickly go from one exercise to the next, just using one band, for those of you looking to mix it up. Okay, so just a few ideas there on how you can work your shoulders as well as your back and your lats from a couple of different angles, just using one band. Definitely like and subscribe if you like this stuff and want to see more. And if there's anything you haven't seen on my channel and you'd like to see it, maybe an exercise that you were doing before and you're wondering how to simulate it with bands or maybe how to do it at home, as always, I hope you guys have some fun.